Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pod Well Travelled. I'm Stephen Scourfield, the travel editor here at 7 West Media, based in Perth in Western Australia. And I've got a new guest with us today, but a long-standing member of the travel team, Leyanne Baillie. Leyanne's been with us for years, contributing to our little travel world here and writing various assignments. She's just written about the locations that are used in the streaming series Succession, which we'll be talking about. But Leyanne also is very much the heart of our print publishing here. We have 56 pages of travel on the go at the moment for this weekend, which is published 32 pages in Saturday's West Australian and 24 pages in the Sunday Times this Sunday. And Leyanne designs all of those pages, sees the whole thing out, so she's absolutely driving that, and also produces e-travel, which is our EDM which comes to inboxes on a Wednesday for free. You can sign up for that at westtravelclub.com.au/join. It's a massive job, so Leyanne takes the brunt of all of that, making sure putting it all together and designing and bringing that out, as well as her writing. So that's what you do.
Yes.
Huge job. And getting bigger by the week.
Long may it continue.
Indeed. This edition we're going to devote entirely to location. And in doing that, we're going to be talking about the places that are featured on screen, in TV and movies, and how they expose us to those places. I'll give you a classic. Leyanne is just wrinkling her face up. Eat, Pray, Love.
I've never watched or read
It's
Eat, Pray,
incredible.
Love.
I knew there was someone in the world who hadn't seen it. I just didn't know it was you. You've never seen Eat, Pray, Love?
I haven't. I think I didn't watch it out of principle because I feel like it was overhyped, but I should probably have given it a chance.
I think give it a chance.
I will.
I've actually read the book too. So Elizabeth Gilbert wrote the book, and for those who haven't seen it, like Leyanne, and I can't imagine there's anyone else, Eat, Pray, Love goes to three places. The character in there is looking for enlightenment, a change in her life, and it features Italy, India, and Bali. And the big section really is in Bali. So, it's really kind of close to home for us. And they're all places that are well known to our audience, of course. Julia Roberts, the movie.
Put my hand up here and say I have also not been to Bali.
Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Oh, that's interesting. So Eat, Pray, Love, I think it's a classic. Another Peter Mayle, A Year in Provence, which was 25 years ago. And, Leyanne?
Succession.
It's interesting. So this theme of, the backdrops are very strong, aren't they, in all of these places. So tell us about Succession. Where was that filmed? Because most of it's set in New York.
Yes.
Tell us about the series a bit, because there may be some people in the world who haven't seen that.
Well, Succession was basically about a very powerful, very rich publishing family, and the father was looking for a successor, allegedly. And this family were very dysfunctional, and the series was about them all vying for the top spot once the dad had given up his role. So most of it was set in New York, but they would be jetting off to various places around the world for business meetings or weddings. So featured some stunning scenery, which the cast didn't seem to appreciate, but I think as a viewer it was very good to watch. England.
Because it changes the texture, doesn't it? When they go to, am I right to say they go to Sicily?
They go to Italy, Tuscany.
It's Tuscany, sorry.
Yes.
Tuscany, yes, sorry.
The New York setting's a lot. It was very stark. The very monochrome. But then when they go off to Tuscany, obviously you've got the landscape and the beautiful scenery. So yeah, it does change it a bit.
Tell us about the Scotland connection.
Well, Logan Roy, who's the main character, he is from Dundee originally. So his family set up a surprise dinner for him because he's in Dundee to open a journalism school, which he's dedicating to his mum. So they set up a dinner which is set in the V&A Museum in Dundee, which has recently been opened 2019, which was part of the regeneration of the waterfront in Dundee. So that's used as the setting for his dinner. It's actually quite a stunning building from the outside as well. It was designed with the east coast of Scotland, the cliffs and the coastline, as a sort of...
As a theme for it?
Yeah.
For the architecture, yeah. It's an amazing building, isn't it?
It is an amazing building, yeah. And it's a design museum, so it features a lot of Scottish designers, and one of the most famous being Charles Rennie Mackintosh. There was a cafe that he designed in 1907, which was in Glasgow, and it was dismantled at some point and lay in storage for 50 years.
The cafe?
The cafe. So all the pieces, there was 1,500 pieces in this cafe, obviously bits of wood, I guess. Yeah. And it's been reassembled and set up in the middle of the museum.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I haven't seen that museum, but you writing about it has inspired me, I must say.
Yeah. Oh, I think it would be worth a visit.
Yeah. So do they other sites in the series in Scotland?
They stay at the Gleneagles Hotel, which is a very luxurious 5-star hotel in Perthshire, which as well is also worth a visit.
Have you know that?
Yeah, I've stayed. I haven't stayed there. I've visited there. There's championship golf courses. They have lots of outdoor pursuits. A Michelin star restaurant, Andrew Fairley restaurants, reasonably famous.
Of course.
Certainly in the UK. And the grounds are stunning. The accommodation is, top notch. So, and the surrounding countryside, Perthshire is a beautiful place to visit, especially in the autumn, because I would say it could rival New England for their autumnal colours.
The big turn,
yeah.
Autumn colours, beautiful. Okay, good. Oh, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it does, say, watching a series like that subliminally affects us. I think we can look at. I've just been writing about Gladiator 2. Lots of people will remember Gladiator film with Russell Crowe, and 23 years later, so a bit like the Peter Mayle story, actually 23 years later, they're filming Gladiator 2 in Morocco, which is where Gladiator was set. And quite a lot of movies have been set in Morocco over many, many years, from Lawrence of Arabia, The Mummy, Kundun, which a lot of people will have watched, Babel, Prison Break, all set in Morocco, which has a reputation for being a very easy place to work and film. That affects the film industry in lots of ways, but certainly with insurance, which is a very big issue with filming, and with backup. So you've got to have redundancy for every part on the set. Every camera's got to have backup, sort of thing. And that's the Moroccan industry there has really facilitated that. So I've been just writing about that, thinking about that, and the places that you can go there. Other great classics, what are we going to think of? Lord of the Rings.
New Zealand, yeah.
Well, how they stole it. Every now and then. Because, Lord of the Rings, J.R. Tolkien's originally is very much a Welsh story, a Welsh border story, I mean, Tolkien sort of, grew up educated in Birmingham, out through the West Midlands, and, if you can think of the mining and the dwarves, it's a very, very Welsh story.
Right.
And the Kiwis just kind of stole it. Every now and then I get a a postcard from Wells Tourism sort of saying, it's actually ours. It was set here. It's
just like the Pavlova.
Just like the Pavlova. Yeah. Well, and, I think even now they filmed the Lord of the Rings trilogy at more than 150 locations, mainly in South Island, North and South Island, And there's so many tours there. It's a really vibrant industry, the Lord of the Rings tour industry in New Zealand. So Peter Jackson just took it there, being a New Zealander himself. So just took it there and made it an industry out of it.
I wonder whether Britain's a very densely populated area. Did the fact that New Zealand's more remote and less densely populated make it easier to use as a location?
Yeah, well, once again, they go out and they really promote themselves as within the industry as a easy location. And of course, you've got, as you say, less populated, spectacular locations.
Yeah.
So they do that well. So once again, the whole insurance redundancy industry is really important to that industry, and it works very well there. So there are lots of protections there, and which Peter Jackson, knows and would have known. Just out of interest, Peter Jackson has a great interest in World War I aircraft and has a huge collection, which is he's sort of gifted or loaned to the Aviation Museum in South Island. It's just near Marlborough, actually. And he got his teams to style all the planes. So where the planes are set, they're actually they've made movie sets. So there's one in a tree and one just landing, and
wow,
they've done all the backdrops. It's spectacular.
Yeah,
so, once again, it's interesting how movie skills enhance that.
That's right.
What else we can say? Downton Abbey. I mean, can you name the castle it was filmed in? Come on.
I want to say hi, Claire.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible how a place like that, which would have been invisible and probably, has benefited from the series and the exposure, in terms of financially,
because
protects
that's
these buildings.
Still family owned, isn't
It's family
it?
owned, exactly right. And it's, it's a good business. So these places that are struggling and falling apart and, go to the National Trust, which is great, but, it's very expensive to keep these houses going. So it's interesting how that can change it. And that's happened to quite a few large properties in England particularly. Back in Scotland, Monarch of the Glen.
Monarch of the Glen, a classic programme.
And I think you can immediately see the landscapes, can't you? Yeah.
I would say that was probably filmed partly in Perthshire, actually, now that I think of a lot of it would be the Highlands, but Perthshire, I'm sure would have featured. Yeah.
I was interested to see that the Tintin TV series was filmed in Scotland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, considering that it's nothing to do with Scotland, it's just purely using that as a backdrop. And I think Scotland the same, once you've developed this reputation for being easy to work, and reliable, really makes a big difference to attracting these. Yeah, The Adventures of Tintin. It was a sort of Canadian production, French animation studio. Story, the stories of the Belgian cartoonist Hergé, all filmed in Scotland. How weird's that?
It is.
Shetland,
another
genius.
Classic.
Yeah, what a genius series that is.
What a dangerous island to visit, though. I don't know if that will attract tourists.
No, you wonder if it has an alternative effect as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you certainly see the landscapes.
You do,
it exposes you to these places. I'm going to the outer islands fairly soon, actually. Not to the Faroes, not to Shetland, which is
on the cruise.
Brought that to mind. Yes. So that's our little rundown of locations. We've enjoyed having Leyanne with us this morning. Thanks for that.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to go back to print and getting all these pages sorted out for this weekend's print. All those stories go online at thewest.com.au/travel. The podcast here, of course, comes out every Wednesday. E-Travel, which is our digital edition, which Leyanne also edits, puts together every Wednesday, comes out to your inbox. You can sign up for that, and it's free at westtravelclub.com.au/join. That has got a little compilation of some of the best of the stories and all the news that's coming from us. So do sign up for that, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, Leyanne.
Thank you.
Coffee time?
Definitely.
Atta girl. Okay, thanks.